Bramer Gomex Jr. XL, a truly fascinating individual whose tale was a roller coaster to be sure. So be prepared to buckle up and listen to his tragic story. Ever since the beginning of Sewer City, there have been certain individuals who've gained popularity, whether it be for their gaining of powers or just overall knowledge of many people in-game. One of those people is Bramer, whose popularity spiked with him obtaining Bloodgan's curse. Before we delve into Bramer's story, I first need to inform you on the backstory of Bloodgan's curse. What is Bloodgan's curse, you might ask? Bloodgan's curse begins with the Battle of Bloodgan and DPG. After successfully beating DPG, Bloodgan's curse was formed and was wielded by Bloodgan. Some time passed and the cosmos had aligned for Bloodgan's curse to be wielded and passed on to none other than Bramer. Bloodgan's curse is an ability in-game that scales with your bounty, damage, and health-wise. So the higher your bounty, the higher your health and your damage. Bramer had dreamed of becoming a Sewer City hero and lived his life out as one for quite a while. But then, things started to take a turn for the worse. Bramer's perception of reality started to slip from what it once was. He began to say things like, "I've always hated humanity. I don't know why. I've just always hated them." And, "I play games every day, but I'm still not happy, because happiness is just a lie." In the end, Bramer had finally become the very thing he swore to destroy. A villain. Bramer fell into the dark, inescapable abyss known as villainy, and the Sewer City heroes had no choice but to seal him and his powers away in the Banlands. Bramer spent what felt like an eternity in the Banlands, where he would sit under this tree to think and reflect on his villainous behavior. Bramer was truly pure at heart, though, so it may be difficult to understand just exactly why his personality had shifted so drastically. Legend has it, there was a certain toilet-looking individual pulling strings behind the scenes. But we'll get into that in another episode. Bramer has recently been released from his what seemed to be never-ending prison sentence in the Banlands. And hopefully this time, he can become a better person for the sake of himself and Sewer City.